The problem we are facing right now is very worrying and we need to be concerned about it. We will show the current state of the problem, the studies, and some important facts that need to be demonstrated so that they can create an impact on the minds of people and create that spark of consciousness and a need to change. Our current state in production, consumption, and economy is very damaged to the source we have on the world. In a few years, the amount of waste produced will exceed the amount of raw resources we have. We will end up with no materials to produce anymore and with a tons of waste. A world catastrophe will definitely happen if we research this point. Our world could be produced because of this. World powers will definitely jump into a war to get access to non-renewable resources we are getting rid of. What is the solution to this and the topic we are going to present? Circular economy. Circular economy is the right solution to all of these problems. It was introduced and popularized in China in 1999 in response to economic growth and sustainability. Later, in 2015, the organization UNCTAD started working on a circular economy to achieve resource circularity for large countries with huge amount of production, like China and India. Plenty years later, the European Union presented a circular economy action plan to achieve same things.
We are collaborating with the Museo de Ciencias Ambientales of University of Guadalajara to create an exposition for young people and introduce them to the circular economy. A full depth in research has been done so we can get them to understand the topic and also impact the best way possible to make awareness of the importance. We believe it is the best way to deal with the problem. Also, we have seen these kind of topics in high school. Not only this topic is the best solution to deal with. In our thinking, it's the easiest to make hands in home and really make change. It's really important to people know that circular economy is to really make change.
We think that the best sample to the museum will be people between 12 and 18 years old. They will be students. We first think how they see the world, how they interact and understand information. We take 3 hypotheses. The next step was now if these hypotheses were real. For this, we make a questionnaire for that range of people. Later, to make it more completely, we make some interview and receive information in social media of how they will act, interact, and think.
So the first hypothesis is 12 to 18-year-old citizens retain more attention if there is kinesthetic interaction. So the first hypothesis, we think that there are very young people, and to make it different and they can really understand the topic, so they don't feel like in school and they feel it more like a game. So the results of the questionnaire, we can see that the 43.8% of the respondents answered that they would like it more if they explain a topic with games instead just with words. And in the interviews, we can say the same because, for example, in Sophia's interviews, she mentioned that she could explain about a topic to someone of their age with games, so the other person can be more interested in what she wants to explain.
¿Y cómo explicarías algo con una actividad interactiva?
Pues yo creo que con juegos o algo que sea de que divertido para que se interese más en lo que le quieras de que explicar.
Also, in Abraham's interview, he mentions that he could explain to someone of his age with a game similar to a quiz or something fun to make it fun and the other person can also understand at the same time.
¿Cómo lo harías con una actividad interactiva?
Yo creo que con una serie de cuestionarios o preguntas que den como algún juego que lo hagan divertido.
But our first hypothesis is true, since in the surveys and interviews we obtained results that indicated that children of this age prefer to learn with interactive activities and that it's easier for them to learn topics. Additionally, to give more support to our hypothesis, we investigated on the internet how children learn more, and the results were positive for our hypothesis because many websites indicate that they learn better when they have fun with activities.
Our second hypothesis says that teenagers from 12 to 18 years old would rather go to a museum if there's interactive exhibitions. So, to know if this is true, we take into account the research carried out by the University of Costa Rica that, in short words, it says that the learning process is better with an interactive activity, and this tells us that it's more likely that they will be interested since it's not a routine and a boring process, but something different and fun. Let's not forget that in the quiz that we made, 75% of the answers out of 100 people feel more attracted to a museum if there are activities in it. And also the spoken testimony.
Es que hacen como en español, hacen que convivamos con la gente. Por ejemplo, la otra vez tuvimos una actividad que nos tocó ir en grupos a cada salón de secundaria prepa a leerle a los niños así como historias, leyendas, narraciones, y en matemáticas te dejan actividades como de te ponen problemas y si lo resuelves primero tienes puntos o algo así. Son como juegos, pero te enseñan mucho.
So we can conclude that the second hypothesis is true, since the information collected and the testimony point to this statement. And our third hypothesis said, teenagers, middle school, junior and senior high school students in Mexico will understand the situation better if the information is given with words easy to understand and explained by a child. It is evident that the use of easy words improves understanding of some subject for all people. On the other hand, according to Ricardo Fernandez 2013, the age of people who teach some subject influence in the learning mode, since he mentioned that the younger, the better the understanding. So this is a point in favor of our hypothesis. If we look at the survey, we can see that 52.4% of the respondents answered that they understand more when someone of their own age explains a topic to them. In the survey that we did, we can see that in Regina's survey, she mentioned that she learns more when a classmate explains a topic to her because the teacher explained it in a more complex way.
¿Es que aprendes más cuando el profesor explica el tema o cuando un compañero te lo explica?
Cuando un compañero me lo explica.
¿Y cuál es esa diferencia?
Pues siento que, por ejemplo, cuando un profesor me lo explica, siento que lo explica de una forma un poco más compleja y a veces es un poco más difícil de entenderlo. Y por ejemplo, un compañero o un amigo, pues tienes como cierto tipo de relación distinta que puede hacer que captes un poco más las cosas, ya que a veces como que cada quien tiene su método para aprender y te puede ayudar.
We can also see in Uriel's interview he mentioned that although he learns more when a teacher explains information to him, it is easier to understand when his classmate explains it to him.
¿Crees que aprendes más cuando explica el profesor un tema o cuando un compañero te lo explica?
Pienso que aprendo más cuando el maestro. Cuando un compañero lo explica, siento que es más fácil de digerir.
So we can conclude that our hypothesis is true, since I mentioned, most of the people respond that they learn better when someone of their age explains to them, and also the theoretical information support our hypothesis. I consider that a problem that we didn't address as much was drawing the attention of the people to visit the museum. This is a very important point, since the more people who visit and see the exhibition, the more impact it will have on the society. I believe that in order to solve this problem, it is necessary to develop another investigation focused on how to attract the people to the museum. However, with the results of the investigation that we did, we already have a great advance, since we know now how to make children learn and become aware of the circular economy in order to have a good impact on society and begin to change habits in them.
Our main objective was to study the population that met the age range suggested by the museum, that was from 12 years old to 18. And I think we'd never consider those who are in this age range to have some type of disability, like motor disability or something like that. And I think that the idea we have is good, but there is still some room for improvement to make this interactive exhibition more accessible to everyone in this, not just in this city, but in the country, or maybe people who are coming to the museum. So we can make this exhibition more accessible to everyone, and they'll be able to generate more awareness in society.
We have been focused on a little sample of our population, that is teenagers. But I think we have to make it real, not only examples, to make it in activities or something like that, to make it real with take hands and make it home. To we get used to do it in home, not only with examples in teenagers, that big people, adults, make teenagers get used to do this kind of stuff and make it like that way to improve.
A solution that helps improve the current state of the problem and reduce the impact it will have on society. I think that we focus on the people with no disabilities and also in people with disabilities like people in wheelchairs, but we didn't thought about people with another type of disabilities. And since we're not used to seeing such inclusive exhibitions, these, for example, have an exhibition that is totally inclusive for blind people and deaf people, for example, it could include people, and also it will be drawing the attention of more people to go and meet it, since we're not used to it.
And finally, the conclusion. After all the investigation process, we can conclude that we now have a better understanding of how children between 12 and 18 years old can learn more easily about the circular economy. At the beginning of the research, we had to choose which one was going to do the challenge that we would have to solve. So we have the idea of studying how children to 12 to 18 years old could interact and have a complete understanding of what circular economy is. Later, we have to create different hypotheses that could be tested with a survey and an interview. For both data collection techniques, we made a brainstorm about the possible question that will give us important information of our hypothesis. So as a team, we select the best question to later do the survey. The survey were done to more than 100 young people, and then in the analysis results, we realized that the results we obtained were good enough to support our hypothesis. So we were able to statistically verify that our hypotheses were true. Finally, we had to create the design of our exhibition. The results that we obtained allow us to have a better understanding of how children learn more easily. So with this, we designed the entire exhibition. Now, all that remains is for the museum to analyze our proposal and make a decision to start drawing the attention of young people based on our proposal and start raising awareness about the circular economy. What I learned from the study was how to develop an investigation. At first, my team and I didn't know how to make the hypothesis or how we were going to focus on our investigation. But little by little, we were developing the investigation until now. I also learned how to use different techniques for data collection and how to interpret the data. This one we had to do the Excel to obtain the quantitative data for our survey.
I think this project was very complete because we not only did the research on that topic to present it to everyone later, but we also learned about the proper methodologies and tools to use to present a complete research. We learned about data collection and how to interpret and use this data for the final report.
This project helped me to think about teenagers' life and their interests and how to carry out to create an exhibition that attracts their attention and all the things that we had to think about just to one exhibition of 5 years, and I really learned about it.
What I learned of this is how to research information correctly to make a good your things, whatever what you're doing, and also to someone get interested to a topic and make it to really understand that topic is really difficult, and you have to make sure that is the easiest way to they get that information.